All right, folks, welcome to Metal Wani and Metal Holic. With us today, we have Tobias Sammet of Avantasia, Ed Guy, and all the wonderful projects he's been part of. Welcome, and thanks for doing the interview.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, we just had a listening party of the new album, Ghostlights. Before we actually talk about it, I really wanted to know that you did The Mystery of Time in 2013.
Yeah.
Then you did Space Police in 2014. And now it's Ghostlights. How are you able to find time and focus on each one of them to make sure that it's like the best material you can ever come up with?
Well, actually, it's not so much work. I don't perceive it as work.
Mm-hmm.
I love doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer, pretty much. And if you love doing something, you can be very productive.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even perceive it as a short time or as a quick work process.
Mm-hmm.
That's, as you said, there's 1 year for each album.
Mm-hmm.
That's got 12 months. That's 52 weeks for one album. That's not really little time exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's technically one song every 4 weeks.
Okay.
For a professional musician, that shouldn't be much work.
But you're still on tour, right? You.
Yeah, but being creative
Mm-hmm.
has got, you don't really need 40 or 60 hours to write a song. A good idea will pop up in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's a couple of hours to translate that good idea into a piece of music and put it into a song and wrap a song around it.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's just, you need just a certain time frame,
right,
to allow those ideas to pop up in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, so far, I can say 4 weeks is a very, very long time for a good song idea.
That's wonderful.
So, if it will change one day, and I will say, the last 2 years I had just 3 ideas, I will not really scrap music. I will rather adjust the schedule and wait longer.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, it was just there. The material was there. I did not have a record company with a gun standing behind me saying,
do it.
So,
right. That's wonderful. The inspiration to write a material, like we heard, all the 12 songs. I mean, it's not like, for me as a fan, when I listen to it, it sounds to me that a lot of thought and inspiration was put into the material to make it sound precise. I mean, I can easily call Ghostlights as one of the most diverse album of your entire career.
That's great you say, because I agree. It's a very diverse album. It's also the longest album I've ever done, including all albums.
That's around 72 to 75 minutes.
70. I don't know exactly how long.
Yeah.
But it's over 70 minutes long. So of course, there's a good chance it's very diverse because it's so long.
Yeah.
It's just again, I can say, when you love what you do, you don't really think about how much work it is. You just do it.
Yeah.
And you don't even perceive it as work. It's just, I sit at home, other people have other hobbies. I go into the basement, I say to my wife, I'm going to go to the basement, I'm going to be in bed pretty late tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to go to the basement, I'm going to stay there for 8 hours or something until 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning with half a bottle of red wine, or sometimes it's a full bottle. Sometimes it's no bottle at all, so I'm not an alcoholic. And then just work on the music and just love it. And just, when a great melody that comes up in my head, it's something that can really make me happy.
Yeah.
Just like somebody else is happy about other things. When I write a great song and have a great idea, I say, "Jay, that's great." And then it's no trouble arranging that idea, making it a song. And also I have Sasha, who is a terrific instrumentalist in all aspects. And then we sit together and we arrange the song. It takes no time. We arrange it, and he's so quick, and he's just like, he is the guitar playing hands to my song ideas.
Okay, he transfers what's in your brain on the instrument.
Yeah, and also adds his ideas. And he will say, no, that's not, it doesn't make sense like this. what if we played that way?
Mhm.
But we click so
So
well
well.
together. So if you would lock us somewhere
Mhm.
with 15 bottles of red wine, 10 days, we would be able to create a great record in 10 days.
Wow.
From scratch to master.
Cool.
Of course, we would need some guest musicians to
Yeah.
come in
Yeah.
to play some, but the basics, not the
Structure, the
the
arrangement.
structure, we would be able to do that. I don't say it would be an amazing masterpiece, but we could come up with a
With
lot of
great
material in that time. So yeah, it's just great to work with those people.
That's wonderful. Now you said about the guest vocals. Now the exciting thing is you've worked with legends like Michael Kiske and Lande as well. For in the other projects, and they've been part of Avantasia as well. But getting a singer like Dee Snider or Geoff Tate, I mean, they are not the German friends like how you have with Michael. How was the process of getting them, and what made you actually have Geoff Tate and Dee on vocals?
Geoff Tate I had tried to get him 2 times before.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite easy. You call the manager, who's his wife, and you
Gabby.
ask. Geoff Tate's wife is Susan.
Susan, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Susan
Susan
Tate.
Tate. Mm-hmm.
And you just ask, and 2 times it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't even have a song idea for Geoff, but I had this song Seduction of Decay,
Okay.
which to me in the beginning when it was an instrumental, the melody lines were there, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Chorus was there. To me it sounded like an orchestrated, epic, heavy metal version of Led Zeppelin,
Okay.
Black Dog, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Eastern scales. It had that Led Zeppelin touch, and I thought it would need a bluesy singer who could sing really high, like David Coverdale or something. But then I thought that was too obvious. That would be too obvious.
Predictable.
Yeah. So I thought, and there was no reason to be doing it, but I was in the basement, in that legendary basement of mine. I was sitting, and I was singing along, and all of a sudden I thought I was a huge Queensryche and Geoff Tate fan since I was a child. So I was singing along as if Geoff Tate was. I thought, what would Geoff Tate sound like on this album? So it ain't a far cry that it seemed, in just a wink we'd come for you. And I thought, that's great. That's just like an Eastern scale, Oriental Queensryche version. And I just tried to imagine the whole song, pushed it in that direction, sent it to Geoff, and then it took like months until he eventually agreed doing it. Had to listen to the song again, and then he was busy doing Operation Mindcrime. And then he said, like, yeah, I love the song, I will do it. And that was it.
Wow.
So it was quite easy. With Dee Snider, it was just a friend of mine who was working for the Wacken open air people. He just knows the manager of Dee.
Okay.
And I just asked him if he could ask Dee if he would be interested in. And they played him the song, and he said, it's a great song, I'm going to do it. So it was just like that. I didn't know Dee before. I met him once.
I mean, are you a Twisted Sister fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Twisted Sister was one of the bands that I grew up with.
Listening
He was one of the characters that I wanted to be like. It was when I was a young musician, 14, 15, at school, writing real bad scores at school. I always wanted to be a professional musician like Angus Young and Dee Snider and Blackie Lawless and Paul Stanley, one of those rock stars that did not care about anything, that were just making their living by being themselves, not listening to a boss, not listening to a teacher.
Yeah.
And Dee Snider was the epitome of a rock star that was not taking himself too seriously. He did those funny videos. He was like a human version of Bugs Bunny. And he was mean and angry, and he was a threat to all parents. And I was a fan. And that's how I became a fan, and I asked Dee, and he was into the idea. And that was great.
That's wonderful. In fact, the song I was actually listening to where Marco is on vocals.
Oh yeah.
I get the feeling that track is like an anthem to play live. I mean, it's speedy. It's got the groove, and I mean, I don't visualize a circle pit, but I see fans headbanging the hell out of themselves if that track is played live.
You know, we haven't made up our minds about it because my wife just sent me a text message today. I was already at the hotel. She said, you have to play Lucifer live. And, you know, there will be many songs where people will ask. I'm very confident about this album because I think it's a very, very, very strong album. Every musician says that after a production. I honestly mean that is a very, 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 very good album. And I think we will have to play a lot of those songs live. At least six songs of those albums.
Wonderful.
Of that album. And I agree that it's a very powerful song. Master of the Pendulum. It's got a great melody. The chorus is very in your face. We may, but you know, Let the Storm Descend Upon You, Mystery of a Blood Red Rose, Lucifer, the Geoff Tate song. You know, there are some songs that we really have to play. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna have to play 4 hours then.
That's wonderful. Now, you know, in terms of vocals, I mean, like you said earlier, that it's the melody which triggers in your mind which singer would fit in. But now that you've worked with so many singers, is there someone you still think that, this guy, I want him on vocals?
Yeah, Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson, and you know, if the good fairy that comes ask me this question, which singer do you want to have? If she's got a good day, I would also ask if she wouldn't mind getting Paul Stanley, Steven Tyler, and maybe John Bon Jovi as well. And then maybe Meatloaf, which we tried for this record, but he didn't want to do it. So I sang the song myself, Mystery of the Blood Red Rose.
Okay.
That's a typical Meatloaf song. I wanted to have Meatloaf. His management had a different opinion. So it didn't happen. So I said, well, what the fuck, then I'm going to sing the song myself.
That's cool.
So, there are some singers. Like, Bruce Dickinson. If the fairy says, no, Toby, just one wish, I would say the genie, so to speak. Genies are the ones that have because in Germany it's the fairies that grant you a wish.
Okay. So maybe down the road, you know, it might come true to have Bruce, because
I hope so. You know, because I asked him for this record, but he was having his cancer at that time. That was in February. I asked.
Yeah, and that was when he was getting diagnosed, and you know he was doing all that.
Diagnosed, I think, in December.
Yeah, and he
was just in recovery. Yeah. So I understood. I got because our English promoter, she works for Maiden, and so we have pretty good connection to them.
Okay.
And they told me, no, right now it's pretty bad.